All right, buddy. Welcome to
What?
the improved. We took a little hiatus, but we're back. So
Yeah.
we're back. We went to a couple of games. We saw the Niners beat the Dolphins. That was a pretty good game. We're back for week 14.
Yeah,
Week
week
14 of
14.
the NFL season here. We're going to do a little rundown of some of the games that we like and some of the fantasy implications.
In Brock Purdy, we trust.
Tom Broccoli.
Tom Brady to the Niners in
Tom
2023.
Brady, Tom Broccoli. Let's start off there with the Niners and the Tom Brady led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Do you think the defense is going to dominate and Niners are going to come down with the win, or you think Brock Purdy's going to shit the bed?
I I didn't think we missed a beat with Brock Purdy, and I thought he played like pretty good on adrenaline, and really he was like looking off linebackers and safeties and making throws like behind them, and so I don't know. I thought the offense looked like it was running pretty good with him in the game. I think the 49ers offense, they don't need high premium quarterback play. You know,
Yeah.
they're they set up the quarterback for success by the plays they call it, and Kyle Shanahan should get a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
Um
Their
uh,
offense is designed to like run on mediocre quarterback play. You just have to be
yeah,
able to get the ball out quick. Got to make like the right read. He usually gives like two reads on like the first guy's not open, you throw it there, or your first read's open, you throw it there, and that's pretty much he dumbs it down. That's what he's been doing for Garoppolo pretty much this whole time. Now and then Garoppolo will have that like nice like three or four read progression and get the ball out, but most of the time it's first or second read, he's getting the ball out quick and just about being quick and accurate. So, looked like Brock was able to do that. He was able to stand against some like 8-man, like full on blitzes, and like he was able to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball. And he
yeah.
ran a nice 2-minute drill at the end of the first half, got a touchdown. I mean, he did a lot of good things. So
I
and
know.
he showed some mobility too. So that's something that they were lacking with Garoppolo. Someone that can get out of the pocket on the run. He did that nice on the third down. He got the Kittle, in the flat for the first down.
Yeah,
So he can do some nice things. So we'll see if he's as poised going against the GOAT and Brady this week. But I think the Niners with their defense and the way the Buccaneers have been playing, I think the Niners can pull off the win this Sunday.
I think this game is really an audition for the 2023 49ers quarterback position, you know,
Yeah.
uh, because I know Brady's been wanting to play for the 49ers, his hometown team and team favorite team growing up. And
Yeah,
you, you
you got Brock, who potentially, if he does well, I mean, he might be the next quarterback, right? So, they might say, okay, well, Trey Lance, he doesn't really fit our system and what Shanahan likes to do. He's not an accurate passer. He's not a quick passer like Garoppolo, or it seems like Purdy's been. So, those are the things that you need in Shanahan's offense. He's going to go like with Lance, he has to completely change kind of the offense to fit Lance's skill set, which is
yeah,
run the ball, throw the ball deep, like deeper patterns, because that's what he's better at. So, with Purdy, it looks like he's more of that mold of Garoppolo, where he's just a quick, short, intermediate passer, gets the ball out quick and makes hopefully the right reads.
I know. It's kind of tough luck for Garoppolo, who's seemed like poised to sign a new contract with the 49ers, and but I don't think anybody's going to be feeling sorry for someone that got a $125 million contract last time around. So, but I think really the 49ers are probably just gonna thank Garoppolo for his time and move on
Yeah.
with Brock Purdy. You know,
Seems like we may have seen the last of Jimmy G, unfortunately. I don't see a way that they re-sign him. He's going to be probably a pretty sought after commodity how he played. So I'm sure he's going to get a pretty good contract from another team. that needs a quarterback. And obviously, he's been solid. The problem with him is injury, and again, he got injured, so it's just what it is. So you kind of you got to take that risk if you're going to sign him. But the dude just wins when he's in there and healthy. He's just a solid quarterback who makes the right reads, the right plays. He'll have a couple of like oh no Jimmy throws, but on the most part, he plays the quarterback position really well.
And another
So
thing I wanted to say is that the 49ers with the last pick of the draft, they gambled on this guy Brock Purdy, and Mr. Irrelevant is definitely relevant with their Super Bowl aspirations. And
yeah,
and so that was a very important thing that they did,
yeah,
because had they not had he just been a free agent, like would he be on the team right now? Like.
yeah. I mean, we saw the glimpses in preseason. A lot of people were even saying that he had a better preseason than Lance. Like if you were watching him, I know he had some mistakes, but I mean he's a rookie, right? But the way he kind of like got the ball out on time, and even like some of his passes, they were like pretty crisp and hitting their targets. So he was pretty accurate. So we'll see how it goes. It's game two now because he pretty much had game one. I mean, Miami game, he was in on the second series essentially. So, he pretty much played a whole game and he beat Miami. I mean, we were there, we watched it. I mean, he was poised and he did what he was asked to do and got the job done for them.
And
So we'll
then
see this week against Tampa Bay how he fares with a little better defense for sure.
and as far as fantasy, I think he'll be more consistent producer of fantasy points than Garoppolo was, because Jimmy G was like one good game and three mediocre games. And I think with a full week of practice and with the whole team behind him, I think Brock Purdy has a higher ceiling.
Okay, so tonight we have Thursday night football. We've got the Raiders, the
Dun dun dun
Raiders
dun 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 dun.
versus the Los Angeles Lambs. I mean, the
The
Rams.
autumn wind was a pirate. I
So
don't
the
see
Raiders
how
versus the Rams. Baker Mayfield maybe coming in versus the Raiders. So the Raiders are kind of making their move here. I think they're what up to 5-7 now on the season, and that they potentially could get closer to 500 and possibly make a late season run to try and make that seventh seed in the playoffs. So
sneak into the playoffs and cause some trouble. Chandler Jones is playing like a beast.
yeah, yeah, their defense played really well last week, surprisingly, because Raiders not known for their defense. But man, when you got Crosby playing well, and
The
then
last the last 3 weeks, Crosby's number one in pressures. Jones is number two, and Micah Parsons is number three, like 2019 and 18. And so that bodes well for the Raiders moving forward. And tonight's game, like with whoever the Rams put out there, the Lambs put out there for quarterback. I hope MJD doesn't get mad at me.
MJD. He's such a hater. Why is he such a hater on the Niners? I don't get it.
MJD,
Oh yeah,
we need
I think
to.
it's because he's from the East Bay, so maybe that's why.
He's
Born,
Raiders
he's a Raider guy.
and he's working for the Rams, so he has to hate on the Niners.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's
for
getting
sure.
paid. He's getting paid to hate on the Niners. But um, Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, that combination, like they're both going off the last 3 weeks, and steady diet of Josh Jacobs, and I think they're getting back some weapons in the next couple of weeks. Renfro and Waller. Um, Waller's been a bust this year, so far as fantasy goes, and so is Renfro. I traded Renfro in a couple of leagues. I I I ended up dropping Waller and Renfro in all my leagues because I just saw the writing on the wall, and I was like, these guys aren't doing even when they're playing, they're not doing much, and they're not even playing that much. And so it's just like when they signed Devontae Adams, they were expecting to have three pass catchers that had, 100 catch, you know, capabilities and or 1,000 yard seasons. And so that's been kind of part of the problem, is that those guys have been out a lot. And
Yeah.
but it looks like the Raiders gonna roll tonight. I don't see how they can mess this up because
Yeah, Waller's not going to be back yet. Looks like he's going to come back next week, and then they're going to have almost their full complement of weapons. I mean, Renfro's still out, but Matt Collins is filled in pretty nicely as a second wide receiver. Devontae Adams just tearing stuff up. So, he's been great. So,
yeah, when they do run so much and the play action is that much more effective, and especially when you have a weapon like Devontae, it just really opens up and makes Derek Carr look not bad, and
yeah, yeah,
it really does make Derek Carr look good when he's throwing play action passes to Devontae, and Devontae's 5 yards away from his the guy covering him, so it's like easy,
yeah,
pitch
yeah.
pitch and catch.
And Jacobs has been a beast this year. He's been
Yeah,
really good. He's like
yeah.
what, the number one running back in fantasy,
It
pretty
was
much.
crazy because they were like so anti Josh Jacobs, and
Yeah,
trying they played him in the third preseason game risking injury, and then and and that was part of the problem too with them losing so much, because they didn't run the ball as much, and we're trying to do all these like exotic pass plays, and now that they are giving him like 20 carries a game, he's been going off. And
yeah.
with the Raiders defense playing so good and their offense looking good, 5 games left. Even if they go 4-1, they might squeak into the playoffs, but they probably have to run the table.
It's definitely in the realm of possibility, but they're going to have to win pretty much all their games to get in. I mean, 10-7, is probably what does it. So, right now they've already got 7 losses, so they got to win them all. Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets for a
Jets,
playoff
Jets, Jets, Jets.
type game here. So we'll see how things go out. But New York, since they brought in Mike White to be quarterback, it seems like their offense is playing a lot better. I mean, they even had a chance to win last week. A couple of possessions at the end of the game to go ahead, and they couldn't pull it off. But their offense with Mike White, it seems to be a lot better than it did under Zach Wilson.
Yeah, they have an adult at quarterback who's gonna. I think Zach Wilson lost the locker room with his comments after the Patriots game that
Yeah. He didn't help. He wasn't accountable for his play, and the team they played their ass off, and then he kind of just said it wasn't on him how terribly he played, and so you need accountability from the leadership position, and he didn't do that, so he
yeah.
lost the locker room at that point, and so we'll see how Mike White does in this really really tough divisional game. Buffalo's starting to play well. It looks like there's been a shift at running back a little bit with James Cook getting a little bit more play than Singletary. He looked pretty good. He is a viable fantasy option now. I would say as like an RB2 flex play. And then you've got the receivers for Buffalo. I mean, Gabe Davis is a good receiver, but man, he doesn't connect a lot of times with Josh Allen. I know that the touchdown last week was really good, the one where he kind of like threw it into space and Gabe Davis came back and caught it for the touchdown. But they don't seem to connect a lot. They just had that one game where he blew up, but other than that, it's been kind of like mediocre for him.
Yeah,
And Stephon Diggs is a beast.
a lot of people thought Gabe Davis was going to be the breakout player of the year, like this year after how he finished last year,
Yeah,
and like you're saying, like a lot of those long passes, they just haven't been connecting.
yeah.
Either Josh Allen's throwing too short, or the defense catches up, or they're just getting. It's kind of a little bit of bad luck. I wouldn't really trust the Bills running back
Yeah.
situation, because just because Josh Allen near the goal line, He's
Yeah,
so
he tends to
dynamic. He's so
run it.
yeah. He's so
Yeah, Josh
dynamic.
Allen's the really Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are really the only two guys I trust, which is crazy on Buffalo's offense. So, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy to say that. And then on the Jets, it's like they've got like a bunch of receivers that are doing well with Corey Davis and Garrett Wilson, who's an offensive rookie of the year candidate. I picked him up early in the year and I had him, and then they brought in Wilson and he stunk, and then now that they've gone to Mike White, like he's getting like a ton of targets and yards and touchdowns, and so he's a great play at this moment. He's their wide receiver one essentially. So
Yeah.
and then Zonovan Knight now has come out as their kind of lead running back, their kind of thunder back. Well, they got the Lightning and Ty Johnson, and it looks like James Robinson. He just fell off a map. So, I would, Ty Johnson had like 6 catches last week. So PPR, he's going to be a viable play. But Zonovan Knight's the guy you probably want because he's going to get the bulk of the carries.
I don't think you could play Ty Johnson with Michael Carter coming back. Michael Carter is going to catch a lot of those passes, but I do. I am starting Zonovan Knight and in all the leagues that I have him in. Robert Saleh said that he's not going anywhere. We should talk about the Raiders defense being a good play because it just said that the Rams are waiting to warm-ups to pick the quarterback. And if they play Baker Mayfield, the Raiders defense might score like 20 points.
Yeah, no, the Raiders defense is definitely a play. I know a lot of people have picked them up, so I think that could be a good play. Thanks for hopping on with me today, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank
Oh,
you.
so we'll
All
keep
right,
it going,
same
buddy.
bat
Okay.
time, same bat channel.
All right, bud. All right, later.
There.